How much do you think you know about the cartoons you watched as a child? Well, you might think you're an expert. For some of these shows, there's potentially dark ideas hidden behind the colorful and flashy exterior. From characters and villains that aren't even there, to theories about SpongeBob's creation. Here's 10 dark theories about your favorite childhood cartoons. While his adventure might have just came to an end, Ash Ketchum and his partner Pikachu have been a staple for kids since he first appeared on TV screens back in the 1990s. But no matter when you started watching Pokemon, one thing always stays the same. Ash is 10. While some people could explain this with cartoon logic, the series does progress on a timeline, meaning no matter how much time passed, he still remains the same age. Well, how could this be? One theory states that Ash has been in a coma this whole time. It would also help to explain why all the nurses and police officers look the exact same in the show. This might be a little dark, but maybe this theory will catch on. While Angelica might be the only one who can communicate with the babies in the show The Rugrats, one theory is that they aren't even there at all. A popular idea is that all the children passed away in numerous ways, and Angelica is creating them as a part of a psychological breakdown. Along with it, the theory is that each child passed in a particular manner, which explains how their parents act in the show. This one is pretty accurate if you look in depth towards it, and while it hasn't been confirmed, there seems to be some merit behind it. In the chorus of the theme song for Pinky and the Brain are the lyrics, "One is a genius, the other's insane." And the general consensus is that the one named Brain would be the genius. But what if that's not the case? While often shown as the dim-witted sidekick, a popular theory is that he's in fact the genius in this situation. Brain has spent so much time and effort ensuring he takes over the world that he's actually lost his mind, or what we may call insane. As well, if you look back on the show now, it looks like Pinky's ramblings are more sensible than anything Brain might have said. Seriously looks like we've had this one backwards from the beginning. Not all kids look and act similarly to their parents, but for the case of Bobby in King of the Hill, it's not only his differences from his father, but the things he shares in common with Bill. From their similar builds, to their shared quietness, bonding time, and Bill's desire to be romantically attached to Bobby's mom Peggy, this seems like something that could actually be true. But sadly, it looks like we're never gonna get any proof. We're going to go back to back on some SpongeBob theories here, and first up, a nuclear explanation for the creation of the characters in the show. In 1946, the United States decided to test nuclear weapons, aiming them at an island called Bikini Atoll. Creators of SpongeBob have said the show takes place below Bikini Atoll in Bikini Bottom. So could the nuclear explosions have affected the local marine life? The clothing of most of the characters are more similar to the 1940s, so maybe this show is actually an experiment gone wrong. While we might not know about how the characters were created, there's a popular theory as to how they act. If you look at the personality traits of 7 of the main characters, besides SpongeBob, you can easily assign them to one of the 7 deadly sins. Sandy Pride, Mr. Krabs Greed, Lust Pearl, Envy Plankton, Gluttony Mrs. Puff, and Sloth Patrick. This theory is so popular that Tom Kenny, who voices SpongeBob himself, said he found the idea flattering. And while he didn't confirm nor deny it, it still remains a very real possibility. In 1987, the Jetsons and the Flintstones had a crossover special in which the futuristic family ends up meeting with their prehistoric counterparts. But what if they weren't so prehistoric after all? A popular belief is that a significant worldwide disaster takes place after the show The Jetsons, and the Flintstones are all that's left of a war-torn world. A couple factors further this claim, one being a Flintstones Christmas special, despite the fact that the show is supposed to take place way before the first celebration of the holiday. Also, this show initially aired during the Cold War, in which significant threats dooming the world were a pretty serious issue. So who knows? Maybe this was the intention of the show creators all along. Battling monsters and protecting his owners was a tough job for Courage the Cowardly Dog, but what if he was visualizing the whole thing all along? In this show, Courage is probably an elderly dog, which is why his owners never take him out of the house, which explains the barrenness around his house. And most of the monsters in the show have a human-like appearance, meaning likely they're just people who Courage has never met. All these back up the belief that Courage is just an anxious pooch, whose worldview is shifted through the lens of fear. While the evil Dr. Claw is never seen by face in the original Inspector Gadget, there are a couple things known about him. One is his vendetta towards Inspector Gadget, and 2, his proficiency for using technology of his own. So why would Dr. Claw become Gadget's rival? Because he stole his life. This theory states that Dr. Claw was the original detective before an accident led to him being replaced by a robotic lookalike, Inspector Gadget. And now, he strives to get his revenge against the man and company who took his life away from him. If this were true, it'd be a significant reversal of fate. The show Hey Arnold is about Arnold, right? Well, actually, it could be a show about Arnold's love interest and rival, Helga. If you think about it, Helga is the only character to have significant monologues, and young children can relate to her having significant moral dilemmas. She's even the one to say, "Hey Arnold," in the show's theme song. Really makes you think about who you should be rooting for when watching it again. That's our list of the top 10 dark theories about your favorite childhood cartoons. Which of these sounds the likeliest, and what other shows have dark secrets? Leave your answers in the comments. And unless I've actually been a figment of your imagination, I'll see you in the next video.